Welcome back, everyone. XRP Hobart here. So I hope you're all having a wonderful 4th of July. Looking at XRP on the one-day chart, we're sitting here at $1.13, and you could see how we're gradually moving up, and everybody's still thinking a major correction is going to happen at some point. People are saying this is not going to continue. The weekly chart also looks very bullish. Right now, is it too early to say this is what we've been waiting for? I think it's just a little bit early still. I want to see where we go from here, how the entire weekend plays out. And here's Bitcoin back above 62K. And right now, all the Bitcoin holders are citing the same thing. Bitcoin's going back above 80K once again, but usually week over week we see this pattern. Right away, people get bullish. Then all of a sudden, there's a slight pullback. Then people are bearish again, waiting for the next push up. So let's see if we continue upward from here. And the other thing I want to point out is XRP broke through resistance at $1.08. Now, are we going to break through resistance at $1.15? Let's see if it happens. And here's the Fear and Greed Index. So before we continue, if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now, let's get back to the topic. The market is still in fear, sitting at 24. I think the fear is still out there because nobody wants to believe that we're going to continue upward. Everybody thinks this is going to be a fake out, so nobody wants to go all in yet. Until we start breaking to higher price points, nobody is going to go all in. But here's my logic on this. You buy at the absolute bottom. You buy as low as you possibly can. This way, you have no regrets later. BlackRock warns about the Clarity Act urgency. Take a listen to this clip.
Outlook is, I think the likelihood of that happening is now sub 50%. I'm still optimistic that if it doesn't happen by the August recess, it'll happen this year. I do think the regulators now, with the CFTC and the SEC, can probably rule right most of what we need. The problem with rule writing is it's much more reversible than what you see when it joins statute.
So when the SEC and the CFTC, they write rules, those rules are not written in stone. That's why we need the Clarity Act. This way, a future proofs the rules. So a lot of institutions are not going to jump into this space without laws in place. And that's a fact. We need the Clarity Act for institutional adoption, which will then go on to open up mass adoption. President Trump says he didn't know. He made $1.4 billion from crypto. What do y'all think? You believe the president? I think he absolutely knew. He made $1.4 billion from crypto. And Baron Trump has made over $80 million from crypto, Forbes reports. So when it comes to these headlines, this is what they're arguing back against: ethics. They want to make sure that no one in Washington can capitalize on crypto, insider trading, and so on. But I look at it like this. If they're making money, so be it. Everybody is going to be calling you lucky very soon. Most people are going to hate it when you actually get life-changing money from crypto. The Clarity Act has 6+ illicit finance safeguards, not loopholes. Section 201B SAAML applies to crypto. Section 303, new sanctions to hit Iran. Section 305, exchanges can freeze dirty money. If you don't like crypto, then say it, but stop these baseless attacks. And you see, Elizabeth Warren said more evidence that our adversaries exploit crypto to move billions. The Clarity Act it's currently written, wouldn't make this problem worse. Congress should be strengthening illicit finance standards, not creating new loopholes. And that is what Senator Cynthia Lummis was fighting back against, saying that this absolutely has safeguards. You know, Elizabeth Warren hates crypto because her banker friends are telling her to crack down on crypto. The people putting the money in her pocket want her to stop the Clarity Act. We need to get this done. It's all about innovation in the United States pushing forward. Ripple co-founder Chris Larson has invested in American Perpetuals Exchange, a derivatives platform founded by Senator Kirsten Gillibrand's son. As she negotiates ethics provisions in the Clarity Act, OPEC raised $30 million at a $300 million valuation, led by Lux Capital. Gillibrand's office says she has no involvement in the venture. You know, Chris Larson, he always seems to pick winners in this space, so most likely this project is going to be absolutely huge. But did this Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, is she invested in this as well? Nobody really knows. And she's one of the people fighting about ethics in the Clarity Act. And Jake Cleaver says we don't need the Clarity Act. XRP doesn't need it. Take a listen.
I've told everybody for a long time, we don't need the Clarity Act. We just need guidance from the regulators. And now we have that. We have both the CFTC and the SEC giving guidance, and the OCC as well. And with them actually, providing guidance around this asset class, there are clear rules of the road so that everybody can move forward. We don't need clarity. And we already have it for XRP and also many other assets at this.
Now, he just said exactly what BlackRock said. But BlackRock pointed out that even with the SEC CFTC rules, those are not future-proof rules. That means a new SEC chair can come in and rewrite those rules. We don't want to see that happen down the road. Here's what I think of, though, when I see all this innovation pushing forward. Why would any other SEC chair ever want to change the rules? And how could they get away with changing the rules? Once a new financial system is already in place, once XRP is already moving money, not just across borders, but domestically inside the United States as well, I think it would be really hard to change the rules later. This comes from Dark Defender. We discussed that XRP completed the correction on a daily time frame. Now a bullish divergence emerged on the 3-day frame too. We have a complete textbook correction structure. The initial target is to penetrate the clouds and test $1.88 shortly. Have a fantastic weekend. So he believes we're going to continue upward to $1.88. If we break through $1.88, all of a sudden we start to head back to $2.90 again. I really want to see that happen. I know a lot of people bought at higher price points. I would love to see them get back into profit again, back to where their portfolio is now, starting to make them a lot of money. But we're just not quite there yet, in my opinion. I think it's too early to say this is the breakout we've been waiting for. If we go through the weekend and continue upward, then it would solidify this is the breakout. Get ready and buckle up. Market analyst Crypto Michael sees XRP finally breaking free from a pattern that has compressed its price action since November 2024 to retest prior highs. He's talking about the falling wedge, and then all of a sudden a massive reversal. And even the network, how we're seeing a lot of things happen with the XRP ledger as well, and a lot of momentum there that actually could solidify the fact that we continue upward from here. I always tell people, expect the worst, but always hope for the best. But you always have to have in the back of your mind that we could experience a pullback again this way. At least you're anticipating that to happen. And if it happens, you know what to do. You either do nothing or you buy that dip. Will XRP have one final dip? Again, nobody knows for sure. Everybody's still talking about this. I have a buy order set up at 98 cents, and I have another buy order set up at 88 cents because I'm thinking that if it happens, I want to capitalize on that. I want to make sure I buy that dip, and this way I don't have to sit there and continually wait to pull the trigger and buy. because this could happen sometime in the morning when everyone is asleep, or it could just happen right now. Anything can happen. In crypto, it's the same reason I always tell people, you don't trade XRP, you buy it, you get it off the exchanges, you put it in cold storage, and you wait for it to happen. But we could still see one more push down. And everybody's been talking about the escrow lately because of the Ripple unlock. On the 1st, Bill Morgan pointed this out. When I posted almost 1 year ago, the amount of XRP in escrow was just under 36%. Almost 1 year later, it is now below 32.5%, which is not surprising given that Ripple does not relock about 300 million XRP per month. What is surprising is how many people lazily post that the amount of XRP locked in escrow is 35% or 40% or total supply. If the trend continues, there will be less than 29% in escrow next July. Some Bitcoin maxes still think it is over 50%. I see those posts all the time. Don't buy XRP. Ripple's holding over 50% of the supply. They could dump that on you at any moment. And it's all nonsense. You know, when it comes to the escrow, there's an unlock on the 1st of every month. Anybody that's been in this space for a while now knows that it's going to happen. It doesn't really even have an effect on the price of XRP because the XRP that Ripple sells, it's sold over the counter desk and it doesn't really impact the price either way. But when you're sitting there just blatantly telling people that Ripple's going to dump on the XRP community all 50% of the escrow that they're holding, it makes people question, should I get into XRP? Could this really happen? People need to start doing research on this because these narratives have been with the XRP community for a lot of years now, and they seem to still linger on. There's facts about Ripple and XRP, and then there's made up FUD about Ripple and XRP, and Ripple uses what they unlock to build out even more utility for this cryptocurrency. But like I said at the beginning of this video, right now XRP is sitting here at $1.13, and the chart looks really bullish right now. I want to see us break through $1.15 and hold and continue upward from there. I'm really hoping that this weekend is huge for XRP and crypto in general. I want to see Bitcoin continue upward as well, but let's see how it all plays out. Let's see what happens from here, and once again, have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. With that said, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. Have a great day. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to join my free Telegram community with the link on my channel where I post my daily crypto experience and arbitrage opportunities you can't get anywhere else. This is XRP Hobart signing off.